Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the Nurse Nook. In today's video, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make a very affordable home first aid kit. So everything you see here costed me around $30. Some of the items that you see here are brand name. Excuse me, my Benadryl fill. Some of the items you see here are brand name products, some are off brand. Now I'm gonna show you guys both. I will say, as my little nursing secret, when it comes to medications and things like Band-Aids and stuff like that, a lot of the off-brand items have the same exact ingredients. The only thing that is different is it's normally by a brand that is not as known by some of the, you know, home brands that your parents have known forever. And so they market it as cheaper. But a big tip is look at the ingredients of the off-brand and the brand, whatever it is that you're buying when you're at the store, and a lot of times it's the same exact thing, it's just by a different brand. And so you can save a lot of money by buying off-brand things. That's just my little tidbit. So I'm gonna give you guys different options here. Everything that I'm gonna be talking about will be listed down below so that you guys can purchase everything. Everything is, I found on Amazon. Very affordable. Everything that I found on Amazon is going to be around $30 for the entire basically set that I have here. So this is going to be a very simple, basic home first aid kit that I believe that everybody should have in their home no matter what. This isn't going to be very advanced like tourniquets and things that get more into the medical side of things. It's just going to be a very basic at home kit. If you guys are new to my channel, I am an ER nurse, so I can go into depth on the crazy things that you should be prepared for that could possibly happen in your house, and that could be possibly a later video. But for this video, it's going to be very basic, very bare, and things that everybody should have in their home. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is hydrogen peroxide. I prefer hydrogen peroxide over alcohol for many reasons. This is great for scrapes, cuts, anything that you want to clean out before wrapping up or putting a Band-Aid on. I highly recommend hydrogen peroxide. This is going to clean things the absolute best, and it's super affordable, very cheap, and something that you should always keep in your home. Another thing that absolutely everybody should have in their home no matter what is Band-Aids. And so I always recommend fabric Band-Aids. These are the Band-Aid brand Tough Strips. 5 times stronger, heavy duty protection, extra adhesive, whatever. These are very like fancy, but you don't need to have these absolute fancy brands. But I definitely recommend fabric. As somebody that has broken their thumb and had to cover this thumb up for multiple months, I got to know Band-Aids very well. And I got to learn that the fabric Band-Aids are the best because you can even wash your hands or get it wet with the fabric. If they're not the fabric kind, they peel off super easy. They get very dirty, they get stuck in things, they start peeling, and they don't last very long. The fabric I have found lasts the absolute longest, and they protect the best. Another thing that I recommend is having some kind of gauze pad. So this is also the Band-Aid brand. This box was super cheap. I think this was at most like $2 that I paid for this. These are gauze pads. These are also very good for cleaning out wounds along with the hydrogen peroxide. You don't want to use tissue paper, toilet paper, even cotton or paper towels, because a lot of those fibers in those things will fall off and get into the cut and irritate it and just cause more problems that you originally started with, and they get caught in things, get stuck. And so having gauze pads eliminates that whole problem. It lets you clean wounds easier and helps prevent all those little fibers getting stuck in your cuts and scrapes. Another thing that I have here is cloth tape. Medical tape is something that comes in handy a lot more often than you would presume it would. I have used this in so many different occasions that you would never even think of. Not only does this help with like medical problems that you have at home, or if you have like that's a new word, a cut or scrape and you need a wrap, whether gauze or some kind of bandage around, and you need something to tape it down, or you just need to tape anything down if anything happens, even if it's not medically. This tape is just great to have in your house regardless. In the hospital, I know I use tape religiously, like constantly, and so this is something that's super, super handy to have in your house. Along with the tape, I always suggest, especially if you're doing the claw tape, you always need some kind of scissors, because that claw tape is near impossible to cut if you don't have scissors. And so I have 3 different options for you here. I have mini scissors. Literally, I got this, I think with like an eyebrow care kit, but these are super sharp and they work really well, and they're just regular scissors. They're just smaller size. I have just regular household scissors that I use for, like, you know, gift wrapping, arts and crafts, whatever it is that you do around the house. These are great to have. And then I also have my medical shears. These are I use in the hospital. And these are very like heavy duty. These are not necessary to have at the house, but they're also super handy to have if you do have them. And so these all work really great, and these are just all different options of different kind of scissors that you could have in your first aid kit. Another thing that I recommend having is blister band-aids. These are called Hydroseal blister heals. These are really great, especially for women. If you have if you're the type to wear heels or just have an uncomfortable new pair of shoes, these will save your life. I'll show you what they look like. This is one of those things where you never thought to have, but once you do have it, it's life-changing. I highly recommend just having an emergency set of these in your house ready to go, just in case you ever need these for any reason. It'll save your life. So I'm kind of gonna get into a little bit of the medication side of what you should have in your first aid kit. I will say that I have seen on like Amazon and some other websites where you can buy first aid kits for like $8, which is great, but a lot of those first aid kits only include things like gauze, bandages, and tape. There's nothing in there that's really like medication or antiseptics, things like that. And so I wanted to show you guys, along with the band-aids and tape, some things that are also really important to have in your kit. So I have Cortizone Cream. This is awesome for itching. Again, this is one of those things where you don't know how much you need it until you have it, and once you have it, it'll save your life. This really helps with insect bites, if you happen to get into poison ivy, if you have a really itchy rash, anything like that. Cortizone Cream will help relieve that almost immediately. And if not immediately, really quickly. I have used this many times and I am so grateful that this exists. Another thing that you want to have in your kit is some kind of triple antibiotic ointment. So this is Neosporin that I have here. Again, off-brand of this antibiotic ointment will probably work just as well, but I just happen to have the brand of the name brand of this, if that will even focus. There we go. And again, this is really great for like cuts, scratches. If it's anything extensive, for sure go to a doctor. Don't just throw some Neosporin on that. If it's something that, you know, potentially needs stitches or you need IV antibiotics for a crazy open gash. This is for minor cuts and scrapes. Things, you know, you scrape your knee outside, or your kid scrapes their knee riding a bike, whatever that is, this will really help with that, along with some gauze, hydrogen peroxide to clean it out, and a bandage. Something else that you want to have in your kit is an antipyretic. An antipyretic basically means something that can treat a fever. And not only can these treat a fever, but this can also help relieve minor aches and pains. I happen to have Tylenol on my kit right now. I usually have ibuprofen, always Tylenol and ibuprofen. I don't know where my ibuprofen ran away to, so right now I just have Tylenol, but it works just as well. The only difference is ibuprofen is an NSAID, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. It's non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. That is what NSAID stands for. And a lot of times that helps with actual inflammation. So if you have like some kind of inflammatory process going on in your body, ibuprofen may work a little bit better for you. The Tylenol is also very good for like headaches and minor aches and pains like that. And also, you always want to have something that can treat a fever, because you never want your fever to get crazy high, and so very important to have. And the last medication I'm going to talk to you guys about is Benadryl. Benadryl is always super, super important to have, in my opinion, because you never know when you or somebody that is visiting your home or anything like that has any kind of allergic reaction, whether it's just like an itch or they have a reaction to some kind of food that you guys have. Benadryl will save your life, literally. People come into the ER and have crazy anaphylactic reactions. Benadryl is one of our first line drugs to help combat it, along with like things like EpiPen and steroids and blah, blah, blah. There's like a bunch of stuff that we give. But Benadryl is always important to have, just in case you ever have any kind of reaction. And not only for any kind of allergic reactions, this also helps with just regular allergies, like allergies to pollen, runny nose, itchy throat, itchy eyes, just minor things like that. Be aware if you're getting the drowsy or non-drowsy Benadryl, because Benadryl is actually also used as a sleeping aid because it does have such a drowsy effect. They actually market medications as sleeping aid, and all the ingredients in there is basically just Benadryl. And so be aware if you're not wanting to have that effect of the drowsiness, that you get the non-drowsy Benadryl. And the last thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is something to actually keep all your first aid kit supplies in. And so I actually got this for free at Target, this little first aid kit. It's just like a little holder for all of my stuff. Fits in here perfectly. It even has little like pockets and little zippers. It's super cute. I got this for free because I thought like if you buy like 3 packages of Band-Aids, you got like a free first aid kit thingy-majigger. This is super cute. You do not need anything fancy to keep your stuff in. Literally any bag lying around the house, any little Ziploc bag that you can keep it in. If you want to keep it in a grocery store bag, that's fine. You don't need anything fancy. The important thing is that you have all the supplies, and where you keep it in is the least important thing. But I commend Target for giving me this cute little free bag because it's cute. It has a little, you know, medical sign on it, and it fits everything perfectly in here. Again, everything that I have in this video will be tagged down below. I hope this helps inspire you guys to make your own home first aid kit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.